that juicy double. Mix-a-lot's in trouble, begging for a piece of that bubble. So I'm looking at rock videos. Knock-knee bimbos walking like hoes. You can have them bimbos. I'll keep my women like Flojo. A word to the thick soul sisters, I wanna get with ya. I won't cuss or hit ya, but I gotta be straight when I say I wanna. Till the break of dawn, baby, got it going on. A lot of simps won't like this song, cause them punks like to hit and quit it. And I'd rather stay and play, cause I'm long and I'm strong and I'm down to get the friction on. So ladies, ladies, if you wanna roll my Mercedes, then turn around, stick it out. Even white boys got to shout, baby got back. Baby got back. Yeah, baby. When it comes to females, Cosmo ain't got nothing to do with my selection. 36, 24, 36. Only if she's 5'3". So your girlfriend rolls a Honda, playing workout tapes by Fonda. But Fonda ain't got a motor in the back of her Honda. My Anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. You can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. Some brothers wanna play that hard role and tell you that the butt ain't gold, so they toss it and leave it, and I pull up quick to retrieve it. So Cosmo says you're fat. Well, I ain't down with that, cause your waist is small and your curves are kicking, and I'm thinking about sticking to the beanpole dames in the magazines. You ain't it, miss thing. Give me a sister, I can't resist her. Red beans and rice didn't miss her. Some knucklehead tried to diss, cause his girls are on my list. He had game, but he chose to hit him, and I pull up quick to get with him. So ladies, if the butt is round and you want a triple X throwdown, dial 1-900-MIX-A-LOT and kick them nasty thoughts. Baby got back. Baby got back. Little in the middle, but she got much back. Little in the middle, but she got much back. Little in the middle, but she got much back. Little in the middle, but she got much back.
Morning, and this is Lake Effect Radio. This is not good today. This is the news at 10 here on Lake Effect Radio. Your newsreader this morning is Ryan LeGrand. First off, I'd like to apologize for not being here on Wednesday. Not sure if John was, but nonetheless, I still apologize for my lack of presence. Alright, just making sure I'm live. Fiji's begun a massive cleanup after one of the most powerful storms recorded in the southern hemisphere tore through the Pacific Island nation, killing 21 people, flattening remote villages, and cutting off communications. Aid agencies warned of a widespread health crisis, particularly in low-lying areas where thousands of Fiji's 900,000 people live in tin shacks after crops were wiped out and fresh water supplies blocked. The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, quoting the country's National Disaster Management Office, said 21 people had died and 4 are still missing at sea. Almost 8,000 people remained hunkered down in hundreds of evacuation centers across Fiji, where they had headed before top Cyclone Winston hit late on Saturday with winds up to 325 kilometers per hour. Quote, "The death toll from Cyclone Winston continues to rise, and reports of widespread damage are coming in from across Fiji," New Zealand's Foreign Minister Murray McCully said. Further quote, "It is clear that Fiji faces a major cleanup and recovery operation. The majority of fatalities were among the western coast and were caused mainly by flying debris and drowning in storm surges," authorities said. A 36-hour curfew was lifted earlier today, allowing the Fijian military to ramp up efforts to reach the more remote parts of the archipelago of about 300 islands. Quote, "The Fijians are desperately trying to repair severed lines of communication, but they hold grave fears that the news waiting for them will be dire," Oxfam's Pacific Regional Director Rajeli Nicole said. Further quote, "Given the intensity of this storm and the images we have seen so far, there are strong concerns that the death toll won't stop climbing today and that hundreds of people will have seen their homes and livelihoods completely destroyed." Aerial footage of outlying islands taken by the Royal New Zealand Air Force and posted on Fiji's government official website showed whole villages flattened and flooded. Aid agencies were told at a meeting of Fiji's National Emergency Operations Center of potential, quote, "catastrophic damage to Koro Island, Fiji's 7th largest island." Quote, "The aerial survey suggested the runway looks okay, so they're going to land at this later this afternoon with emergency personnel and some supplies," said Anna Cowley of Aid Agency Care Australia. Fiji also reopened its main airport at Nadi. Food and water supplies are a growing concern, even for such areas such as Suva that did not suffer as much damage as the more remote regions. The Consumer Council of Fiji has urged traders not to sell food and other perishable items that have gone bad due to the effects of the cyclone. The country's chief executive, Premier Kumar, said supermarkets and other food stores should destroy such items. Survivors spoke of the horror of the cyclone, while aid workers scrambled to help victims. Quote, "The noise was deafening. At one point, I turned to my partner and questioned whether we would actually survive," Sarah Bingham, an Australian on holiday in Tokariki Island, said by telephone. Russia's foreign ministry has said a string of suicide bombings in Syria at the weekend claimed by Daesh were aimed at undermining the peace process. 57 people died in at least 2 bomb blasts in the city of Homs, while multiple bomb blasts in the city of Damascus left 62 dead. Quote, the atrocious crimes by extremists are aimed at scaring the peaceful population, subverting attempts to lead to long-term political settlement to the Syrian crisis in the interest of all Syrians, and efforts to end violence and bloodshed, Russia's foreign ministry said in a statement. Moscow said it, quote, decisively condemns the, further quote, inhuman attacks by terrorists and expressed condolences for the victims. It also called for a, quote, proper, principled reaction from the international community. Stressed the importance of, quote, reliably blocking attempts by Daesh, the al-Nusra Front, and other groups to, quote, further aggravate the situation in Syria and around it, and inflame division between different faith groups. Meanwhile, Daesh and other jihadists have cut a vital supply route linking the west of Syria's second city, Aleppo, with other government-held territory, a monitoring group said. The road between Aleppo and the town of Kanasar to the southeast was the only way regime forces and civilians living in government-controlled neighborhoods of the city could travel to surrounding provinces. If government forces are unable to recapture the road, it could slow an offensive they launched in countryside around Aleppo earlier this year. And it can worsen severe shortages of food and water for civilians. It is not the first time the government supply route to Aleppo has been cut. Rebels cut it in 2013, and Daesh did so last year before being pushed back. The new setback comes with government troops on the offensive north and west of Aleppo, where rebel forces in the east of the city are almost completely surrounded. Big mess. Much more locally, unfortunately not brighter. The man found dead early Saturday in the back of a garbage truck appears to have died from being crushed by the truck's trash compactor, according to the Summit County Medical Examiner's Office. The man, who has not yet been identified, appeared to have been alive and without any previous injuries before being crushed. No foul play is expected in his death at this point, the medical examiner's office said. The man is expected to be identified via fingerprints as early as today. This was filed at last night at 8:20. Police in Akron, Copley, and Fairlawn are investigating how the man ended up in the back of the truck. A Republic Waste employee reported about 4 a.m. Saturday that he believed he had a body in his truck. Fairlawn police found the man dead in the truck at the Fairlawn Shopping Plaza on West Market Street. The employee made several stops in Copley, Akron, and Fairlawn on his route before calling police. I'm sorry, I figured something This should go after the break, actually. And before the break, more than 10 million people in India's capital area are without water, despite the army regaining control of its key water sources after protests, officials say. Keshav Chandra, head of Delhi's water board, told British Broadcasting Corporation it would take, quote, 3 or 4 days before normal supplies resumed to affected areas. Jat community protesters demanding more government jobs seized the Munnak Canal, the city's main water source, on Friday. 16 people have been killed and hundreds hurt in the last 3 days of riots. The Munnak Canal supplies about 3/5 of the water to Delhi's 16 million residents. Mr. Chandra said prior warnings meant that people had managed to save water and tankers had been dispatched to affected areas of the city, but that this would not be enough to make up for the shortfall. Schools in the city were closed after supplies from the canal were sabotaged during protests. The army took control of parts of the canal Monday morning, but repairs are expected to take time. British Broadcasting Corporation correspondent Sanjoy Majumdar, who is near Delhi's border with neighboring Haryana state, said protesters who set up roadblocks are refusing to budge. Quote, "We don't trust them. Let's get something in writing. Let them spell it out," one demonstrator who refused to be named by the British Broadcasting Corporation. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal tweeted that the army was, quote, "trying to assess in how much time water would reach Delhi and whether any damage had been done to the canal." Protesters went on the rampage despite a curfew and the deployment of the army, which is reported to have opened fire on them in the districts of Rohtak and Jahar. Haryana State Minister Ram Vilas Sharma said the situation was returning to normal, traffic had resumed on national highways, and that railway lines between Delhi and the cities of Jaipur and Chandigarh have reopened. Mr. Sharma also confirmed that the government would introduce a bill on reservations and quotas for the Jat community in the next assembly session, although he did not say when that would be, presumably the session. Meanwhile, India's federal government has said they will set up a top-level committee to look into the grievances of Jats. The violence had earlier forced closure of several key roads and national highways and paralyzed the railway system in northern India. We will return after the break. This is Lake Effect Radio.
Watch us live at www.livestream.com/lakeeffect. Call or text into 440-940-6615 to request songs.
I enrolled at Lakeland because I wanted to get ahead. And today, you need college. And Lakeland is close by and tuition is low. It's convenient with classes day, night, weekends, and online. You can't beat it. And here's the best part. You'll save thousands of dollars and not rack up a lot of debt. My Lakeland credits transferred, and now I'm working on my bachelor's. So take it from me. I'm from Lake County. Opportunity starts here at Lakeland.
Making a difference in the world starts with doing one thing, like recycling, baby.
Little Free Library. Take a book, leave a book. Little Free Libraries offer a way to share good books to read. Check out the 2 locations on campus, TLC Atrium of L Building and entrance to E Building. Take a book. If you see something you would like to read, take it. When finished, leave a book, share a book. A Lakeland Community College Library and Kirtland Public Library project. For more information, please call 440-525-7424.
The library hours for the spring semester are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and closed on Sunday. We will also be closed January 18th, February 12th, March 12th, and May 14th. Call 440-525-7424 for more information.
Be sure to watch us live on www.livestream.com/lakeeffect.
Hey Lakeland, start off your semester right with a charged mobile device. Now at Lakeland, we have 4 mobile device charging stations that can be used for free throughout the campus. They are located in Breakers, E-Lounge, C-Lounge, and Y Building Game Room. Each device comes with 8 cords for mobile devices. Get charged up today. These were provided by Lakeland Student Government.
Is your teen either a junior or senior in high school and you are looking for an alternative to a traditional high school education? Lakeland Community College's post-secondary enrollment option program is a great way to fast-track your teen's high school diploma while they earn either college credit or a college degree. For public high school students, we offer 2 great payment packages, while homeschool students have 3 awesome payment packages. Lakeland also offers a college technical program for high school students who want to get a degree in one of Lakeland's 11 technical careers. This tech program is for students who like to go to college and is satisfied by technology. Parents can call Lakeland Community College at 440-525-7100 or go to our website at www.lakelandcc.edu and click on the admissions tab.
Earn a bachelor's degree close to home through Lakeland's Holden University Center. Choose from a variety of degree programs from 9 Ohio colleges and universities. Taking classes your first few years at Lakeland will save you thousands. Register online for the Holden University Center Partnership Fair Tuesday, April 12th from 4 to 6 in the A Building Atrium. Learn more at lakelandcc.edu/UC. Lakeland's Holden University Center. Stay here, go far.
You're listening to the magnificent, fantastic Lake Effect Radios from Lakeland Community College in Kirtland, Ohio. Keep on rocking around the clock tower, y'all.
Ride Lake Tran free with your student ID. For more information, visit www.laketran.com or call 1-888-LAKE-TRAN.
Earn a bachelor's or graduate degree close to home through Lakeland's Holden University Center. Choose from a variety of degree programs from 9 Ohio colleges and universities. Taking classes your first few years at Lakeland will save you thousands. Register online for the Holden University Center Partnership Fair, Tuesday, April 12th from 4 to 6. Learn more at lakelandcc.edu/UC. Lakeland's Holden University Center. Stay here, go far.
Want to know the ins and outs of the business world from the area's most successful leaders? Lakeland's Management Lecture Series brings the top professionals in from all areas of businesses, industries, just for you. This is your opportunity to learn from the experts and ask questions. Free admission, but all the information's priceless. Join a conversation on March as Brandon Chikowski, founder of and CEO of Edwards Leadership and Restaurant Institute, shares in how he got started in the culinary and hospital business. For those re-entering social and prison, he provides them with employment skills and opportunities for a second chance at life. Mr. Chikowski has won many awards from innovation and important programs. The lecture series starts 7:15 in the Wayne L. Worldhorse Performing Arts Center, Building D on the campus.
It's Mr. Fabulous, Jesse James Helsius from Mr. Fabulous and the Bad Boys, and you're listening to Lake Effect Radio. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and SoundCloud.
This is Lake Effect Radio with the news at 10 o'clock. A lawyer representing victims of the San Bernardino killers will file a legal brief telling Apple to cooperate with the FBI in its investigation. Stephen Larson, a former judge, said he intends to file legal paperwork on their behalf next month. The FBI has ordered Apple to disable the security software on the killer's handset, but the tech giant has refused. In a new statement, FBI Director James Comey says the demand was, quote, about the victims and justice. Quote, they were targeted by terrorists and they need to know how this could happen, said Stephen Larson. He declined to say how many of the victims he was representing, but did add that he would not be charging them a fee. 14 people were killed and 22 injured when two gunmen opened fire in California last December. I will not bother naming the names because A, you can look them up, and B, I'm not going to immortalize them with this. They don't deserve it. However, Apple CEO Tim Cook has described the FBI's order as, quote, dangerous, quote, chilling, and, quote, unprecedented. He said the firm would have to build a new operating system in order to comply. Quote, we strongly believe the only way to guarantee that such a powerful tool isn't abused and doesn't fall into the wrong hands is to never create it, the firm states in a Q&A on the Apple website. Facebook and Google have voiced support for Apple in the dispute. And I do as well. I do agree with Apple on this. I have got to say. Rare, isn't it? Quote, this is from the FBI. Quote, we simply want the chance with a search warrant to try and guess a terrorist passcode without the foe essentially self-destructing, without it taking a decade to guess correctly, said the FBI in a statement. Why not just get the NSA to do it? They probably have enough computing power to brute force it. I mean, they shouldn't have that capability, frankly, but they probably do. Why don't you just use that? Jesus Christ. The FBI said in a statement, further quote, that's it. We don't want to break anyone's encryption or set a master key loose on the land. Further quote, maybe the phone holds a key for finding more terrorists. Maybe. Oh, of course. Maybe. Sorry. Maybe it doesn't. Of course. But we can't look survivors in the eye or ourselves in the mirror if we don't follow this lead. Sorry. On a slightly related note, last week, antivirus creator John McAfee offered to unlock the iPhone for them. Quote, it will take us 3 weeks, he told Business Insider, adding that he would eat his shoe on television if his team failed. I think John McAfee is the same guy who's also... It's either McAfee or Norton, but one of those two guys is on the run from country because he was accused of murder. I don't know if that's been resolved or not, but hey, why not take him up on the offer? I mean, this is John McAfee we're talking about here. I mean, yeah. Back over to Europe again. Samuel Willenberg, the last survivor of Nazi Germany's Treblinka death camp in occupied Poland, has died in Israel, aged 93. Only one of 67 people known to have survived the camp. He escaped by clambering out over bodies piled by a fence as Nazis shot prisoners during mass breakout. In 2013, he returned to the site to mark 70 years since his escape. About 870,000 people died in the gas chambers of Treblinka, more than anywhere else except Auschwitz. That's 30,000 people. Let me say it this way. If that had been applied to a population of Fiji, as it was before that recent cyclone, there would only be 30,000 people left in Fiji. Just sort of compare of how many people were, well, murdered. Mr. Willenberg urged the world to never forget Treblinka. In October 1942, age 19, he was among 6,000 Jews from Apatow ghetto who arrived by train at the camp. They were told that they were at a transit camp and had to undress and shower before being sent onward. In reality, the quote, shower rooms were gas chambers. But because he was a bricklayer, he was assigned to manual labor duties and escaped an early death. His job was to sort through the belongings of the people sent to the chambers. After the war, Mr. Willenberg, whose 2 sisters were killed at the camp, moved to Israel and became a surveyor. Quote, I live 2 lives. One is here and now, and the other is what happened there, he said. Further quote, it never leaves me. It stays in my head. It goes with me always. Most of Treblinka's guards were never prosecuted for their part in the crimes there. Presumably a lot of them probably killed by the Soviet Union, to be honest. Treblinka's commandant, Franz Stangl, was sentenced to life imprisonment in October 1970 following trial in the German city of Dusseldorf, in what was considered the western part of Germany. Today, nothing remains of the extermination camp except for the ashes of mostly Jewish men, women, and children murdered there. On a slightly related note, and I just happened to see this while I found this article on the BBC's website. A group that basically manages the sites of these horrible these sites where these horrible things happened, released an app recently because apparently some people forget that the Poland nation was alive, but it didn't have effective control over territory. Let's say it that way. Poland is not yet Poland was never lost, but it didn't exactly have control over Poland, shall we say, the land. And some people, because it's located in what is rightfully was and still is Poland, they think they were Polish death camps. That's a lie! And I probably blew out some speakers there. I'm not apologizing this time. And some people do not get the some people Probably mostly in haste, but there are some psychopaths out there who do deliberately use that as part of their thing. And those people probably need to take a 12 gauge pill. But it's basically an app. It's for like a spell check. And if someone types in Polish death camp or Polish concentration camp, it basically is like an autocorrect kind of thing. Not autocorrect, but it's like a spell check kind of thing. It does red squiggly line like it does in like Word and stuff like that, and has other suggestions. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but it's there's probably quite a few articles out there about it. The article I read was from the 17th of February, so it's not that recent, but it's something that should be mentioned nonetheless. Closer to home, and I just can't remember. No, it's second to last story. Harper Lee, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, has been buried in a private funeral in her hometown of the U.S. state of Alabama. Close family and friends of the Pulitzer Prize-winning novelist, who died Friday, age 89, gathered for a church service in Monroeville. To Kill a Mockingbird, about racial intolerance in the Deep South, has sold more than 40 million copies worldwide. Lee released a sequel, Go Set a Watchman, 2015, 55 years later. A statement from her family confirmed the acclaimed author had died in her sleep on Friday morning. Funeral service was held at the First United Methodist Church in Monroeville on Saturday, with history professor Wayne Flint, a longtime friend, delivering the eulogy. She was on laid arrest at her family burial plot alongside her father and sister, Alice Lee. Presumably not the same person. That'd be strange, but her sister, presumably named Alice Lee. Yeah, someone should check her copy, like me. The author used Monroeville as a model for her imaginary town of Maycomb, the setting of To Kill a Mockingbird. The book remains a towering presence in American literature, telling the tale of a white lawyer defending a black man accused of rape. I remember studying this book in school. Specifically, it was 11th grade. Yes, it was 11th grade. I remember because I remember because of reasons. And yeah, that was a pretty crazy book. I don't mean that in a sense. It's a pretty powerful book. I mean, I still have my copy. I bought that from that at the time, actually. In the small fictional town of Maycomb, in the Depression-ravaged American South, a black man named Tom Robinson is falsely accused of raping a white woman. A lawyer named Atticus Finch defends Robinson in court. The frenzy stirred up by the case and her father's quest for justice are seen through the eyes of Finch's 6-year-old daughter, Scout. The book explores issues of race, class, and the loss of innocence. And this is a quote from the book. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, so you climb into his skin and walk around in it. A quote from Atticus Finch to Scout. And another quote from the book. It was times like these that I thought my father, who hated guns and never been to any wars, was the bravest man who ever lived. According to Scout Finch. And if you remember, slight subplot really, so I guess it's not really a spoiler thing. Also presume you read it as well. He did take up arms once, basically to kill a rabid dog. So his marksmanship skills were pretty good. But you know, it wasn't like his hobby or anything. I don't think he even had a hobby, at least not those mentioned in the book. I don't remember exactly. In 1962, it was made into a film starring Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch and Mary Badham as Scout, and the novel is currently being adapted for the stage. If I recall, Harper Lee also helped write the screenplay for that movie as well, so it's a good approximation of the book. It's a good approximation. Some things probably weren't covered in it. Possibly even the rabid dog, perhaps. I'm not sure. But, it's still a good approximation. It's a good movie. Watch it. Yeah, Gregory Peck is real. I got emotional during that movie. Many emotions. So, yeah, it's powerful. And finally, don't have anything positive really for you to say, unfortunately, but alas, thousands of migrants and refugees have been stranded near Athens on Greece's northern border after the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia stopped allowing Afghans in. Some 5,000 people were stuck on the border, and another 4,000 arrived at Piraeus port, as Macedonia said only Syrians and Iraqis would be let in. Greece has protested at the decision, but Macedonia said Afghans are not being let in by other countries. Last week, Austria imposed a daily limit of 80 asylum claims. Although EU officials said the Austrian decision was incompatible with human rights conventions, Balkan states along the migrant route from Greece have responded by implementing their own restrictions. Past year, the vast majority of migrants and refugees arriving in Europe have taken the route through Greece, hoping claiming asylum in Germany or other EU countries. More than 1.1 million people have arrived in Germany alone in 2015. After Syrians, Afghans made up the second largest number of people seeking asylum in the EU in 2015, according to figures from an official source, possibly Frontex. It's not mentioned in the article, though. Last November, Slovenia and other Balkan countries announced they would only allow in refugees from Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, where armed conflicts were taking place. Macedonia said it now halted access to Afghans as well because Serbia had itself imposed restrictions, although this was disputed by Belgrade. Police from Austria and the Balkan states agreed to new guidelines for letting in migrants last week, which reportedly included a photo document issued by authorities on the Macedonian border with Greece. The Athens government fears the new restrictions will prompt a buildup of migrants and refugees on the territory. The United Nations already counted more than 94,000 arrivals from Turkey on Greece's Aegean islands since the start of this year. Greece's junior immigration minister said he was hopeful the issue would soon be resolved in Macedonia, but there are fears the number of stranded migrants could increase. First indication of that came with the arrival on Monday of 4 ships in the port of Piraeus, carrying some 4,000 migrants from Greek islands. They are intending to continue their journey to the Macedonian border at Idomeni. Almost 5,000 people were already waiting at either Idomeni or on buses a short distance from the border. German politicians have reacted with dismay to the change in Austrian policy, which includes a 3,200 daily limit on the number of migrants and refugees being allowed to transit through the country. Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière, not mentioned in the article, but I know he's German, complained the numbers were far too high and sent the wrong signal. Quote, if the others think that it will dump a greater burden on Germany, we won't accept that in the long term, he said. His opposite number in Austria, Johanna Mikl-Leitner, complained that Germany was sending mixed signals. Germany could not promise Greece that it would continue pursuing its open border policy, while also demanding Austria stop everything coming through, she argued. Germans have been shocked in recent days by 2 anti-refugee protests in the eastern state of Saxony. Dozens of protesters blocked a bus carrying families to shelter in the town of Klosnitz on Thursday night, hurling abuse and chanting, quote, "We are the people." The people who are about to die a horrible death, perhaps? No, probably not. Probably not. Just someone who needs, I don't know, a slap upside the head, really. 2 nights later, shelter for asylum seekers was set alight in Boston as onlookers were filmed applauding the action. Now, those people, especially arsonists, they have a machine for that. It involves decapitation. Taking care of the problem with the arsonists, not asylum seekers, obviously. A government spokesman, Stephen Saber, condemned the Klosnitz attack as cold-hearted and deeply shameful. Well, no shit, Sherlock. And on that note, we now have the weather forecast once I get the soundboard back up. And now the weather forecast for Curtin, Ohio for the next 3 days. Today, sunny, high of 38. Northeast winds 6 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 23. Northeast winds 6 to 9 miles per hour. Tuesday, partly sunny, high 44. Northeast winds 8 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, showers likely after 1. Cloudy, low 36. East wind about 11 miles per hour. Precipitation chance 60%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch. And Wednesday, rain, high 46. Breezy, with an east wind 13 to 21 miles per hour. Precipitation chance 80%. New precipitation amount between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch. And that will conclude the news at 10 here this morning here on Lake Effect Radio. Thank you for listening.